12 o'clock. Speaker, they are saying that this is no way to make the House function. The opposition members, like we were telling you, we're talking about misuse of central agencies. That was one of the issues. What really happened in Lok Sabha, Adjourned Meghwal said that we want to discuss the issue of price rise. They're not letting us. So this has become the latest flashpoint. The first 2 weeks, the opposition was putting the government on the mat, saying that you have ensured price rise in this country. GST was an issue that opposition wanted to raise. And for 2 weeks, we saw repeated adjournments because that discussion was not happening. Today, that discussion has been listed under Rule 193 after a notice by leaders like Manish Tiwari. It's slotted for discussion. But today, the opposition is raising the issue of misuse of central agencies. It was first against Sonia Gandhi, they allege. Now against Sanjay Raut, they allege. What is being alleged is that opposition leaders or those who are not part of the government scheme of things are being targeted by misusing agencies like ED and CBI. Because of that sloganeering, because of that charge by the opposition, Speaker Om Birla has decided to adjourn Lok Sabha till 12 o'clock. Earlier we saw Rajya Sabha also getting adjourned. So will we then not see the discussion on price rise? That's the key question now. Will there be any discussion post 12 o'clock when the Lok Sabha reassembles? I'm waiting for Pallavi Ghosh to join me and share what she learns after speaking to members of parliament. But that is the situation as of now. Pallavi, price rise was the reason we saw adjournments for 2 weeks. Today that is listed, but an adjournment again.
Yes, and that's going to be the irony of it. Rajya Sabha, for example, has already been adjourned till noon. Lok Sabha also being adjourned till noon. And in fact, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister also stands up to make the point that it's the opposition which wanted a discussion on price rise. We've agreed to it. It was scheduled for sometime post-lunch. But if morning shows the day, then Arunima, I'm afraid that it's highly unlikely that the debate and discussion can even take place. There's plenty on the ammunition. The BJP is attacking Mamata Banerjee on the SSM scam case. There are protests outside the Mahatma Gandhi statue early this morning. The opposition has given multiple notices led by Shiv Sena on what they call the misuse of the ED and using it as a political tool against the opponents. The Congress is angry with the BJP over the Sonia Gandhi issue. The BJP is angry with the Congress party demanding an apology from Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary and Sonia Gandhi on the floor of the House. So in this backdrop, it should come as no surprise if the debate and discussion on price rise doesn't take place later today.
So was it only limited to the centre's, issue of misuse of central agencies? Pallavi, I'll discuss that with you further, but let me bring in Ashish Maharshi. Ashish, is ED saying anything in its defense? It's being repeatedly put on the mat by the opposition, saying that you're being selective in your probe. You're actually allowing yourself to be used for political vendetta.
So I have been speaking to senior people in the Enforcement Directorate, and I have also been, discussing with them about this, that why you are being selective only on a few people. But they say that, you can call us being selective, but at the same time, one has to realize the fact that these cases basically are built on merit. And if the court is accepting those cases, it cannot be denied that there is no wrongdoing in it. Even, in the case of Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, I had discussed it at length with senior officials in the Enforcement Directorate, and they say that there is, we agree that we can be held responsible for being selective, but at the same time, one has to realize the fact that one can't say that there is no wrongdoing in the entire thing. Even in the case of National Herald, the Congress approached the higher courts. In fact, if you see the High Court judgment, it says that the entire transaction has been done with criminal intent. This is the observations of the court. So that is what their defense is. In the case of Sanjay Raut as well, Praveen Raut, if you see, he is beneficiary of a few 100 crore rupees of the transactions from HDIL. And we all know that Patra Chawl scam is worth more than 1200 crore rupees. A scam where they were supposed to build more than 600 flats for tenants and give extra land to MHADA, but that never happened. Money came from HDIL, it is public's money, and then the money gets cheated. Allegation against
Okay, I lost that line with Ashish. I will go back to him. But let me go back to Mumbai. Harman, this issue of Sanjay Raut's arrest, finding its echo in Parliament as well. But as far as evidence goes, as far as witnesses go, How solid is the case against him as per the Enforcement Directorate officials?
Well, yes, so far we have been seeing, the Uddhav Thackeray's faction clearly saying that the Enforcement Directorate is being used as a tool to suppress voices of the opposition by the BJP. But as far as sources from within the Enforcement Directorate are concerned, they say there is this watertight case. We do know that this entire scam is of a redevelopment scam of more than 1,000 crore rupees, and it is believed that Sanjay Raut's close aides benefited from it. We do know that there's a flat in Dadar originally belonging to his wife, which has been attached by the ED. It is believed that due to the money laundering involved in this entire scam, the money was then used to purchase this flat in Dadar. Besides that, there are properties in Alibag too that have been attached. And yesterday, one of the two key grounds upon which he has been arrested was one that he was not cooperating, is what the agency has been stating, which in the past too we have seen, Arunima, has been a key ground for seeking arrest. The second is about more than a lakh Indian rupees that was unaccounted for, that was found in his home. He was asked as to what was the source from this. Was it, withdrawn from a bank or from where? To which also he did not give satisfactory replies. There was also, according to what sources have been indicating, there was an envelope containing at least 10 lakh rupees, which was believed for the Ayodhya tour, but that was also lying there. So several unanswered questions, which is why his custody is going to be sought for at least 10 days. I'm here right now outside the JJ Hospital, gate number 8, as you can see towards my left. Strong police bandobast here being kept in order to ensure that there is no ruckus, that everything goes on smoothly. Because towards my left hand side, if you see, it's an extremely busy road. Besides that, you have, since it's one of Mumbai's largest hospitals, you have a lot of patients also coming in. So to ensure that there is no discrimination, and in the sense it is not hampering the entire process, you have the Mumbai police security which has been placed here. Anytime soon, Sanjay Raut will be brought in here for his medicals, and then will be taken to the PMLA court in Mumbai, where the Enforcement Directorate is going to seek for his 10-day custody.
Right. Ashish Mershi is back with us. Ashish, from what Harman is explaining and from what you were telling us, this looks like misuse of official position. So a case of PC Act. Yes, ED is probing the money laundering angle, but is it likely that CBI could step in too?
Unlikely as of now, unless there is ample evidence. So the process usually is, in case the Enforcement Directorate finds certain details or certain evidence which basically comes under the Prevention of Corruption Act, then the Enforcement Directorate can write to CBI and the CBI can further register an FIR. So here, if 11.5 lakh rupees is found, I'm told by my sources in the Enforcement Directorate, there are certain property documents that have been found which were earlier not in the knowledge of Enforcement Directorate. They're trying to find out whose property it is, whether it is Benami property or not, how the money transaction happened for purchase of that property. Everything is being looked at. So in case there is ample evidence to prove that there is a Prevention of Corruption Act case, then the Enforcement Directorate writes to CBI, and the CBI has got full right to register a Prevention of Corruption Act case, because he is a member of parliament and he's been occupying senior positions in the previous government, the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government. But as we come back, Arunima, on the allegations of misuse of Enforcement Directorate, we were discussing about various cases, especially the Patra Chawl case. In the Patra Chawl case, if you see, it's a scam worth 1,200 crore rupees. People who were supposed to be given house, around 628 odd tenants who were supposed to be given house, they never got their house. The land that was supposed to be given to MHAD, it never came. Money came from HDIL. It is public money. It is taxpayers' money that came to a company called Guru Ashish, which was controlled and owned by Praveen Raut. Praveen Raut is supposed to be a close aide of Sanjay Raut. So there can be allegations, no doubt, that the Enforcement Directorate, CBI and the income tax is being selectively used against the opposition only.
Right.
But then these cases are standing on their own legs and own merit in the court of law. That is why, though the allegation stays, but the ultimate argument falls flat because of the